Shaun, I have a really important question to ask you that's going to be telling of your character and how you show up in this world.
Okay.
When you wipe your ass, do you crunch or do you fold?
I fold.
Dude, I knew it. So here's my theory on crunchers and folders. People who fold, um, more perfectionists, more left brain, um, think out, you know, how they want to show up, like think things through, right?
Yeah, a lot of planning.
A lot of planning. People who crunch, like me, I'm a cruncher.
I'm
Um,
not surprised at all.
Yeah. What is it called? Off the seat of your pants or flying by the seat of your, that's almost a pun. But yeah, the
Uh-huh.
seat of your pants thing. Um, but I gotta say, part of the crunching is so I could be further away from what I'm wiping. Because when you're
Uh-huh.
folding, you're so close. You're
Yeah,
so
but
close when you're folding.
but it's there's clear delineations. There's a lot of layers of protection.
See that language already. That language, clear delineation, layers of protection. There it is, man.
Okay, hold on. First of all,
Yeah.
I've never heard it called crunching. I've only ever heard it called bunching.
Oh,
I've always thought there were
yeah.
bunchers and folders, and now you just threw crunchers in
I
the
don't know.
mix.
I don't know why I said crunching, but you know what? That's just the way they interpret it. It's also something that we don't talk about much, so I don't never
So
heard of crunching.
I'm glad you started with that because
Are you
it's
really?
fun. It's hilarious. It's funny, and actually, a lot of people don't know that there are two schools of thought in how to wipe your
Mm-hmm.
ass. And most people that are folders just assume that everybody else is folding, and all the bunchers assume that everybody else is bunching. And then
Right.
there's the bidet users that are just like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
water is where it's at.
Right.
And then there's
Have you
everybody who
used
doesn't.
you've used a bidet? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the bum gun, which
Mm.
isn't the bidet that's attached to your toilet seat. It's just like a kitchen sprayer that you use to shoot the poo off your ass.
So you have to do it manually. You don't turn a button. You got to like spray your ass.
Yeah, you
Oh
take
my
it off the hook and
god.
you kind of go back there and just shoot it back there.
Is that what you do? You do that often or
No,
no?
I do
That's
it
once in a while.
sometimes. Here's I mean this is TMI, but like I've been like pretty constipated for a long time, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
have like very like
Regular.
messy. I don't have messy
Oh,
poos. No, I
yeah,
am
yeah.
regular. I just don't have messy poos. So
This whole podcast is TMI, Shaun. This whole podcast, every episode is TMI, dude.
hey, at least we didn't start talking about our penises.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's good to know, and I also like. I always like understanding our similarities, our overlap, and then also
Mm.
our differences. But I had a feeling you were a folder. I
Well,
just knew you were a folder.
look, John. Here's where it gets crazier. You thought you just we're just going to open up a little thing and then close it up. No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
you're gonna stretch it, open it wide.
Are you a sitter or a stander?
Are you talking about peeing or shitting?
Or we're talking about wiping your ass.
Oh, you stand up? Well, because you got to spray your ass. You spray your ass.
No, you
Uh,
don't spray standing up. That means there'll be
okay.
water all over the
Yeah,
place.
that's
But
true.
are you a sitter or a stander?
I'm a sitter. Who? There are people who stand up to wipe their ass.
Yes.
How's that even? That seems really because then your butt clenches. How do you even get in there with that angle where you're standing up?
You lean forward.
Oh, okay,
You're
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
doing
yeah.
this. You're kind of doing like a row or something.
Yes.
With a flat back, but you're standing up, and then you use one hand to kind of keep the butt cheeks apart.
You know what's been really hard for me, and maybe for you too, as you work out and gain more muscle, my reach is limited. So like because of my lats and just my I can't even. Sometimes it's hard to reach. I mean, I can still tie my shoes. I'm not like that, but I can't reach. Sometimes it's really hard. I got to really make an effort to reach.
What if you go in between the legs?
No, because you gotta push it. You gotta push it back because you're not
Mm.
wiping forward. That's weird. That's gross.
Some people wipe forward though.
That's also I don't understand that. Like that's and then get it on your balls.
Well, I don't know.
Ah, that's weird, man.
I don't
That's
know.
really yeah. Also, yeah, the standing up is weird. The wiping forward's weird, and also folding is weird.
I mean, it's not. It's just all different. It's funny
It's all
because I
different.
was going to start the podcast in a completely different direction.
Well, let's go there. I went this way. Now you do yours.
So I wanted to start with a quote
Nice. Okay.
by Ram Dass.
Oh wow. From wiping your ass to a beautiful quote by Ram Dass. Let's do it.
If you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's a famous one.
And man, does that resonate, because I just lose my shit around my
Yes.
family in a way that is very embarrassing.
Do you have a big family?
No, no. I
So
have a pretty small family.
what happens when you're around your family? What gets activated in you that you lose your shit?
I just like I don't have a good defense mechanism
Oh.
for some of the stuff that comes my way.
Hey, when you get angry, what do you do? I can't imagine you when you get angry that you confront or yell or scream. I don't think you're someone who throws chairs. You seem to like, I think you slip out the bag or something.
No, I was actually just telling somebody that if there was a video of me talking to my mom,
Yeah.
for example,
Yeah.
I would get canceled.
Yeah.
100%
Dude,
get canceled.
I'm glad you said that because I think I would too, because my mom is the sweetest, little Asian lady. She's almost 80. And, um, but dude, I think for me, because my mom never checked me or disciplined me as a kid, also never taught me any manners. And I find myself speaking to her in a way that is very comfortable, but also very rude. And a lot of times people hear me and they're like, dude, why do you talk to your mom that way? And, as Koreans, we also scream at each other. I mean, I'm the one doing the screaming, not her. And yeah, so I can relate with you. I got to check myself often the way that I talk to her.
Yeah, I mean it was embarrassing. I was embarrassed of at myself, with
This just
myself.
happened, it sounds like.
Yeah, it may have just happened.
Mm.
Mm.
Why with you? Why with you do you speak to her that way? Is it because of conflict and activation? For me, it's more about like, early on, laying these kind of tracks where uh, instead of having etiquette and rumors and speaking to your mom with respect, um, she allowed me to just like, talk to her like like a younger brother. And that just, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really at liberty to discuss it, is the problem.
Because it's she could be listening.
She could be listening.
Yeah.
That was
That,
the initial issue.
that's the other thing that will never happen with my family, or
I
at
know.
least my mom. She has never gone on the internet before in her life. She doesn't even know what it is yet.
Well, it sucks because like I want to be able to talk to you about this stuff, but I just don't have like it's just like the buttons. Our parents know how to push our buttons. They created the buttons.
Well, the other thing that happens, and this is something I've said 1,000 times, it doesn't matter who you become in this world, right? You could become famous, you could become CEO, doctor, lawyer, whatever. You could be this high level anything. You could have 1,000 employees. You could be a billionaire. Dude, you go back home for the holidays and you snap back into the 15-year-old climbing out the window. And it's because that it's the relationship dynamic, man. That dynamic that we have with our parents, especially in family, it's so strong and it tugs on every activation, wound, the past, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, and the damage is done like early on,
Right?
right? And it sort of pops back up in other relationships along the way.
Oh yeah. But in other relationships, we have a lot more um, stretch. We have a lot more. It's
Empathy.
not like, yeah, more empathy. More. It's not like the what I'm imagining is like the rails of a roller coaster where they're just like and with our family,
It's
the dynamics. It's
deep
deep,
rooted.
man.
Yeah.
Dried cement. You can't move that shit. When you meet someone new, there's a lot more wiggle room. So even when you're activated, you can look at it and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I hope I don't get canceled.
Well, you didn't say anything to get canceled. You just said you speak to your mom in a way that, yeah. And also, it seems like you regret. It seems like you're aware of it and that you don't like it. You said you're embarrassed about it, so that's.
I totally regret it.
Yeah.
I totally regret it. Yeah.
Is she buried in your backyard?
No,
She's still
she's fine.
okay.
She's fine.
You didn't hurt her, right?
We're all going to spend Thanksgiving together. I guess
Oh,
it's
right, right.
apropos, right? Because Thanksgiving's coming up, so a lot of people are going to be traveling, going home, seeing
Yep,
family, and
yep.
it's complicated. It's complicated and it's kind of messy, and it's like people want to include their families, but then at the same time, part of them doesn't,
Yeah.
because of old stories and old like grudges, like families.
Also, the conversations, you realize
Oh,
how many
political.
political, and also a lot of people and family members have not grown, and maybe you have, and you're noticing that difference, very fast.
Okay, how about this? This is interesting. I've got a lot of obviously I've got a lot of notes here for us, but what do you feel? How do you feel about people just like cutting out friends and or family because of who they voted for?
God, I I don't like that because then there's no room for conversation.
Hmm.
I don't like that because, well, if everyone did that, what would the world look like? Meaning, if you if in, it, because of the way someone voted, or because of any kind of difference, if you are going to cut out instead of have a conversation or be curious about their side, then all that is disconnecting people, dividing people. Um, Period.
Yeah, but
Unless you're cutting out to protect yourself because the way that they engage is not a healthy conversation. That's different.
sure, sure. But also a lot of people aren't open to con- conversating. Like they're just in their camp and they're not trying to see the other side. So if you're a woman and you find out that your family members all voted for Trump, who, and conservative people who are overturning Roe v. Wade and not doing things that are in benefit to women's reproductive health, like why wouldn't you just say like, okay, well, these people don't have my best interests at heart, so why would I want to continue to be with them?
Yes, I think what is healthy is if you're saying, "Hey, we're gonna have a great time. It's just Thanksgiving. It's whatever. Politics off the table because every time we go there, we're gonna end up getting into a fight, disagreements, and it ruins the holidays." So I think that's okay. That's different than just exiting
Huh.
or. But listen, you got to decide what you need for you, and if those fights get so heated it just ruins your holiday, then yeah, maybe kind of slipping out the back can be okay.
I mean, personally, I think that if you wanted to write off Trump voters from your family, or even I guess the Harris voters, if you were
On the
like
other side,
on the other side,
yeah,
that's fine. I think that's fine. I think do what you need to do to feel safe, and if that means not having those people in your life, like maybe. But I'm also like, I guess I sort of like lean towards the avoidant.
avoidance. Yeah, because I
Safe.
think right, dude. I don't think you should writing off is too to me to it's too extreme. Because you're saying writing off like disengage, don't contact them, don't talk to them. You're not talking about just for that event. I mean, not going to an event because there's going to be any kind of chaos and nervous activation. You don't want that. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
But writing off a family member completely because you guys don't share similar views, whether they're political, religious, or any, I think is too extreme.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
We can
because
agree to.
I'm gonna sandwich this. I'm gonna end this with the Ram Dass quote because you started with the Ram Dass quote, and
Okay.
it's gonna line up with why I feel this way about this. It's one of my favorite quotes from him.
I'm ready.
We're all just walking ourselves home. We're all just
Each
walking
other.
each other home, and it. God, I love that quote. And when it comes to family or friends or anyone or exes or anyone where there's conflict with, at the end of the day, man, we're all just here on this planet for a short, limited time. We all have differences. There's going to be all this, and this idea that we're all just kind of walking each other home is such a beautiful image.
Okay, okay, but also like life is short, so why do I need to be walked home by some person who doesn't have my best interest at heart? Like I want to be surrounded by people who love me. And so like I'd rather be walked home by those
Sure.
people. I don't think we
Well,
have to
you
walk.
should be walked home. Well, um, we can walk those people home. We don't have to live with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just walking them home, dude.
I don't
Like,
even
you
want to
can
walk them
walk your mom
home.
home.
I'll call you an Uber.
Oh,
You
see,
know.
that's what. Yeah, yeah. We could also walk on the other side of the street, but Shaun, you're saying like I just, out of my life. So we should all walk our parents home, and most of us, tons of activation with our parents. Most of us voted differently or we've grown so far apart from our parents. But we should walk them home. We shouldn't live with them. Anyway.
Okay. I mean, I love this. I love that, like, that's your stance, is generally like angled towards commitment and understanding and connection. And that often mine is like self-preservation.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people who love you.
Yeah.
Like, you
They're
don't
both
need that
right.
negativity.
Yeah.
We have just very different strategies for
Well,
life
also,
sometimes. Bunching, folding,
but exactly,
standing,
standing,
sitting.
sitting. But I gotta say, there are people, friends, family, otherwise, that I know that I will not be close with. Like, that I don't mind walking home, but I won't be in their life. Whether it's because we don't have much in common or we've grown apart. Or that just it's just like I know the relationship I have with my brother will be what it is now, which is talking about cars and a little bit surfacey. He's not someone that is going to talk about feelings. He will never, I don't think. I would be shocked if he does in his lifetime, but I accept that, understand that, and that relationship will only be that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was just out with him yesterday, and it's basically, how was your month in sales, and what kind of car are you driving, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I get something out of that, but that's what that is. It's never going to be like, what's your inner journey like?
Yeah, how's your heart?
That's not his. It's not.
Yeah,
it's
you
not who
should
he is.
Ask him how his heart is next time, though. And he's like, "Oh, I went to the doctor. They said I should probably eat less cheeseburgers or something. It might be like actual cardiovascular heart health."
He will call me gay.
Okay,
that's too
bad.
Yeah, but I try to find other things in him, because he does have a lot of great qualities. Like, he's protective of me. He's always taking care of me in his way. He'll always be there. And he's very loyal and stuff. And so stuff like that I do value.
Okay, so people that aren't super close to, and maybe even have different ideological views with, can also bring lots to our life.
Yeah,
in a different way.
Yeah, that whole thing that water meets water at its own level. I apply that to friendships and relationships, where it's like, because I've been in things that are lopsided, where I brought either too much or I expected them to change, and always disappointed. And so I will meet you where you're at. So I have fitness friends, and all we do is chest bump and talk about workouts. But that's it, and that's okay. You know. And then I have friends like you, where we talk about crunching and folding and deeper things, and that's what I get out of this relationship. And then so it's like having the full box of crayons in the different colors.
I will. So I appreciate all that, and I also will say to anybody who has a friend or a family member that is not supportive, that is kind of an asshole, that isn't respectful in their difference of views, you can absolutely cut them out of your life. You don't have to fucking walk them home. If someone's an asshole, you don't have to walk them home.
I do agree. I do agree if someone is bullying you, assassinating your character, not able to hold a conversation, but they're saying that you're a piece of shit. I mean, of course, then you're protecting yourself. Absolutely.
Whether life is too short,
family
dude.
Member, friend. Sure.
Life is too short. Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Hey,
I agree with that.
Okay. I saw your new tattoo.
Oh. I didn't even think about that as a tattoo, just because it was 10 minutes.
It's pretty small.
Yes, it's pretty small. It's tiny,
but it's very cute.
It's cute. This year is I was at the restaurant one day, and I told my mom to write my name, which is means iron in Korean, and so she wrote it. She's totally against tattoos. She hates you look like auto mechanic.
Yeah.
And she didn't know that I was going to tattoo it. I wanted her penmanship. So this is my Korean name. And so I did the same thing with Logan. She wrote her name.
Wait, did you just get that on your hand?
This is old.
Oh, wait. Yeah. That's old?
Yeah, it's old. It's been there. You probably thought it was dirt.
No, I didn't think it was dirt.
It's my name in Korean.
Dude, Iron John?
Well, I was gonna say, if you want to call me Iron Man, I'm okay with that.
I think I would go Iron John.
No, not Iron John. Just call me John.
Um, Iron John. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you. There's a book about Iron John, but I
Is
don't have enough data right now to talk about it.
Okay.
So you also got Logan tattooed on your bicep.
Yes. What I wanted from that wasn't the actual tattoo, because it's a tiny tattoo. Or my first early memories were like around 4. She's going to be almost 5. So knowing that she's going to remember this is what I wanted. I wanted to go with just her and introduce her to. She's never seen a tattoo. She doesn't know how they work. She's never seen a needle. So I want her to remember. Oh, my dad took me to the tattoo shop when I was like, almost 5, and that's when I first saw tattoos. And he got my name tattooed on his arm. I want her to file that memory. So it was less about the tattoo, more about the memory.
Cool. When are you bringing her to a strip club?
When she's about 18 and she gets daddy tattooed on her left cheek. So then she has a tattoo of me, and I have a tattoo of her.
Oh, it's like a series where John just brings his daughter to like inappropriate places, like tattoo parlors and
New experiences.
Yeah. Back of a motorcycle.
If you had a kid, would you want a boy or girl, and why?
I would want a girl.
Yeah, I see that I predicted as well.
Yeah.
I never saw myself with a son. Never. It just doesn't. It doesn't. I've always seen myself, if I had a child, the child would be a daughter, and I always saw myself being very close to her, like best friends, that whole dancing with her at her wedding kind of dad.
Well, I think that's a pretty common desire, I think, for men to have daughters, and for those daughters to like revere them and to see them as heroes.
Yeah.
And also to be, maybe to a certain degree, to be the kind of father or parent that you didn't get.
Yeah.
Right. So close and emotionally available and like able to shepherd and advise and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't see myself, because some dads do. I never saw myself teaching my son how to hit a baseball.
Yeah.
Not that you can't teach your daughter, but I'm just saying, like, I never saw myself taking my son camping. I'm just not that kind of dad. But I saw myself taking my daughter to eat pancakes on a Sunday, going to the coffee shop, dancing with her, all these. I don't know. That's just always the thing I had.
What if she wants to learn how to play baseball and go camping?
That'd be great. I mean, then I would love to do jiu-jitsu with her. I just don't have time right now, but
yeah,
I want to do that.
I can't see you camping.
Yeah, I would. That's something that I would have to do, and it would be me trying to do something for her, because I'm definitely not a camper.
Yeah, there are different ways of going camping, by the way.
It would be glamping.
Yeah, I have a rooftop tent on my truck, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so on my Tacoma, I have like a very streamlined camper.
Has it been used?
I've probably put 500 nights in it in the last 4 years.
That's great. By yourself?
Mostly by myself.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I'm a solo dude, man.
No, I know you are. Yeah,
I'd love to have someone in the passenger seat who could sometimes also go in the driver's seat, because it's hard to drive alone all the time. And I'm like back on the road now. I'm in LA, by the way.
Oh, you are? Oh, yeah. You're looking for apartments. Where are you?
I'm in Marina. I landed in Marina Del Rey.
Yeah.
And then realized that this is not the right part of town for me, even just to land here, because it's like so far from everybody that I know and where I want to be.
Yeah, it is far, but it is. I mean, what's nice about it is the air. You're close to the ocean if you're a beach person, which you're not.
I'm not, but I will say that we're a block from the beach, and I've been taking the dog out every day, and it's nice. It's like it's so nice.
Marina Del Rey, you have to be a beach person to want to be there, because you are 40 minutes to an hour from the east side, and
it's a whole part. It's a whole different.
It's a whole different, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Los Angeles is if you're in Venice and you're dating someone where I live, or like Silver Lake, Echo Park, East Side, it's a straight up just like dating someone in New York. It's a long distance relationship.
It's not happening.
You just won't see the person
Yeah.
because, to think, okay, I got to get my car. It's going to be an hour traffic on the way there. It's going to be an hour traffic on the way back. Traffic's unpredictable. Like it just the wear and tear of that long distance pulls the relationship pretty quickly.
Well, that's why I want to move closer to you, John, because I don't want us to have a long distance relationship anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because Zoom is not enough. I need to see
Zoom
you in
is not
person.
enough.
Yeah.
So I'm visiting two places today. One in West Hollywood.
Okay,
And another
that's
one.
middle. All right.
It's more central. It's on the east side of West Hollywood, actually, by Runyon Canyon. Okay.
Oh, okay, it's a little bit closer. That's a
Yeah.
cool area. Runyon Canyon, Beechwood. Yeah, I could see you kind of there. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm checking that out, and that's a communal living sitch with a couple people. So I'm going to go see that. And then I'm looking at something in East Hollywood. That's actually 10 minutes
Oh
from
yeah,
Faros.
that's Oh yeah. I know where that is.
But off of Santa Monica
That's much
Boulevard.
closer.
So like much closer. A little sketch part of town.
A little sketch, yeah.
Virgil Village. You know Virgil Village?
No. You know what's funny is whenever they take an area that is kind of sketch, they just add the word village to make it sound cooler.
Yeah.
Like Virgil Village. I've never heard of that.
Well, there's a road called
about?
Virgil,
Suddenly,
and they just name it Virgil Village because there's like a strip of coffee
which is
shops.
which is sketch, but then they're like put a village after it. Yeah.
So I've been here for a couple of days. I'm leaving. I'm going to the Bay Area, and I'm coming back in early December. But I'm a little scared. It's like kind of overwhelming to move to LA. You know,
yeah.
like you've been here your whole life,
I feel
so
for you. Just because it's so wide. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine, like, if I moved to Canada knowing nothing about it, having a few kind of touch points and friends, and being alone. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a big dive into an ocean, a wide ocean.
Yeah. I think I want to give love to anybody who has to move or who's moving or who's just moved, and how hard that whole situation can be and how destabilizing it is.
Well, let me know how I can help and guide you. Were there no places in Los Feliz, Silver Lake, those areas, or is it too expensive these days?
I just haven't found anything yet.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that easy to find, to just be like, okay, this is where I want to live. And
yeah, I can imagine.
But the East Hollywood place is like, it's literally 5 minutes from downtown Silver Lake.
Yeah, that's close. I think that's great. It might be a little sketch, but you know what? Sometimes you get like a loft or something really cool in sketch, but you're 5 minutes away from non-sketch areas.
Well, the place is really nice. It's like been redesigned by like interior designers. They used to live there, and it's just a really beautiful 2-bedroom, and it's kind of like tucked away in the back. It's like in the back of a house.
And you're by yourself in that one?
Yeah, and there's a gated parking.
I would rather live alone than do the communal living. What if you guys end up? I mean, speaking of conflict, and it could go either way. The communal living thing.
Yeah, dating as a 42-year-old, hey, come meet my roommates.
Yeah.
But the house is also it's like a mansion.
Yeah, there's lots of space.
There's lots of space. It's like a 4-bedroom. There's like a work studio. There's a big backyard. There's plenty of parking. Like it's like tucked up in the hills,
I think because things are so expensive now, there's definitely more and more of that, and people are more accepting of that. It's not like you're living in the basement of your mom's house, right?
No, but also there's built-in community.
Right.
There's like always someone home. You guys can check in. Like that's nice. That's one of the things that I'm scared about is like isolation.
Right. Communes are growing. They're actually I don't know if the word is commune, but like what you're talking about, an apartment complex. I met someone who lived with her husband in one for a couple of years. She said it was amazing. The entire apartment complex, 6, 7, 8 units, and everyone kind of like shares grocery bills. They rotate cooking for each other, and it's a straight up inner city commune. And I know there's some in San Francisco. There's actually companies that design and put people together. And I thought, wow, that's actually kind of exciting. That's really cool.
Yeah, communes, co-ops, communal living. Yeah. There's all sorts of people they call it intentional living.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go see both those places today, actually.
Nice.
So I'll get to do
Nice.
the back to back experience. But if I live in East LA, I'll be 10 minutes from Faros. So
Yeah. And which means you'll be 10 minutes from me probably every day.
yeah, working
Daily
out,
split, working out, shooting the
fucking
shit,
chest bumps, talking
chest
about
bumps,
cars,
spotting each other, balls in your face.
spotting each other. Yeah,
Like,
dude.
you benching me or hovering over you, pushing
I
you
like spotting someone when they're squatting
from the back.
from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do that, but I do it from the front. Women just
Oh,
try.
like that's how you also give people rides on your motorcycle.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so a little bit of feedback from last week's episode.
All right.
Um,
Principal's office.
it's not. Don't worry, we're fine. It's like more talking points,
Yeah.
right? Um, so last week we talked about like the election,
Mm-hmm.
women's reproductive rights. How do you date in this sort of scary landscape?
Mm-hmm.
And this person said, I've gotten back on the dating apps in the last few months, and I ask every single man who he voted for and if he supports abortion rights before we make any plans to meet in person.
Yeah. That's smart.
I will not waste my time on someone who doesn't believe I should have bodily autonomy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, when we're talking about family, it's hard to, you could create distance, you could disagree, all of that, whatever. But when we're talking about someone you're dating, that's going to be huge. It's going to be deal breakers on whatever side you're on. That's probably not going to work.
I like that there's a distinction, like a very clear distinction. Like, all right, family, we could like excuse some of their
Yeah.
stuff. We don't have to cut them off. But if we're talking about partnership, like let's be aligned here in like very serious ways.
Well, because you're seeing your partner daily, and you're being intimate with your family. Sometimes you see them just during the holidays, right?
Once or twice a year, yeah.
Yeah.
What about people who like I get this question often, I think you probably do too. People are like, "Oh, me and my partner don't vote for the same person or don't have the same religious or political beliefs." Is that a deal breaker?
I think it depends on the couple, but I think there is definitely alignment in other areas of their life that produces the glue and structure. And also, they must respect each other in a way where they're okay if, people have different religious beliefs or whatever. But
I
I
think
think
it
it
you
depends on the individual.
man, I can't believe we're so different on this one. Which is fine. I guess we could agree to disagree, sort of like a couple who doesn't see eye to eye. But I think back in the day, it was easier to have different political beliefs
Yeah.
because there wasn't such a huge divide. But nowadays, I feel like the divide's too big for a couple to be like, oh, we both like camping and we both like John Mayer, but
Right.
I believe in the right to an abortion and he doesn't. Like, I just don't see.
No. I agree with you. And the abortion thing, I know it is under the umbrella of political, but that is it's a huge topical issue. When you say political, I'm just kind of thinking broad strokes, but it depends on the couple because I think some couples, yeah, it is a total deal breaker because my political views line up with my values, how I want to show up in the world, the choices I make, how I want to raise children, whatever. And so, yeah, if those don't align, they're huge. But I think some people, because they line up in so many other ways, they're able to say, you can have your views, I can have mine. Probably less in the political arena, especially today, but in like religion, there are people that are like one person's a Christian, one person's not. There's a lot of those kind of couples, or one
Really?
person's Catholic. Yeah,
I don't know those couples.
it depends on to the degree. Do you know what I'm saying? It depends on
I
to the degree of the.
think I hang out with too many like hippie liberals.
Maybe, yeah. LA's going to stretch you a little bit.
You think?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, in a
I
good
mean, I
way.
lived in Flagstaff, so
Yeah.
there was a lot of conservative folks there.
No, I think you fit in LA. You fit in LA.
Someone was like, "Dude, you're a Ventura boy," and I'm like, "What? No,
No, you're not a Ventura boy.
no."
No.
Okay. Here's another piece of feedback which I thought was really interesting, and I have a story related to this. I've told my sons since they were 10 that they are responsible for every sperm that leaves their body. This is a great conversation to have before doing anything.
Hmm.
So speaking of kids, right? Like
Yeah.
what do you impart on your children, both boys and girls. So responsible for every sperm that leaves their body. I mean, that's pretty powerful. That's a very powerful message.
No one told me that.
Have you ever gotten anybody pregnant? I mean, except for Vanessa.
Early days, yes. Early days, first relationship.
First relationship?
20s, in my 20s.
Whoa.
Was not ready in any way. Obviously, accident, panic. She wasn't ready. We were just children, and she didn't want it. We found, obviously early on, that child would be in his or her 20s right now.
Yeah.
Like 25 or something. Crazy.
More, dude. More. Aren't you 50?
Take it easy, Shaun. You don't have to do the math. You don't have to. We just round it off.
We're not rounding off if you insist on calling us middle-aged men, bro.
Yeah, I think I was 20, I don't know, like 27, 25.
Oh, okay, 27.
It wasn't early 20s, yeah.
I thought early 20s.
She was in her early 20s. There was a 6-year age gap, and yeah. And
so you'd have a 23-year-old kid.
Yeah. It blows my mind.
Could be wild.
It could be wild, but yeah, yeah. So
I have a friend. My brother had a friend who got him and his girlfriend in high school or in college, early college, got pregnant, and it sort of like changed the trajectory of their life.
Like he was going to law. Huh? They had the baby. Yeah,
he was going to law school. I mean, he was always kind of a bit of a fuck up. I mean, I used to smoke crystal meth with him, so not the best role model. But his name was Steve, and his name still is Steve. But he had a trajectory, and it sort of just like ruined. I don't want to say it ruined his life, but it significantly altered his life. And so when I was a teenager, my mom used to always end the phone call. When I went to college, I was away in college in Santa Barbara, and I was having sex and getting drunk and doing college things. And she would always be like, "Okay, I love you." And I'd be like, "I love you too." And she would go, "Steve." And then she'd hang up the phone.
Wow. That's a passive aggressive. I see where the activation can come from with you and your mom. She just dropped
as a reminder, a reminder of what happens if you get somebody pregnant, right? It could alter the trajectory of your life in positive ways and negative ways, depending where you are in your life.
That's also kind of funny. There's humor there, and it's kind
it's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. So I like that. Okay. Last piece of feedback, and then we've got some questions.
Okay, let's do it.
Therapist here. I don't agree with your statement about not catastrophizing. So I said that last time. I go, hey, let's not catastrophize Trump being president. Let's see what happens. Let's stay in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
I hear what you're saying, but that's also invalidating, right? Mm-hmm. This is from the therapist. Mm-hmm. I work with primarily marginalized people, and the fear for immigrants, women, queer people is very real. Coming from two privileged men, one who has dual citizenships and the other that lives in LA, it negates your claim of we can do better.
Right. So then catastrophize. The sky is falling. Life is horrible. Like because I see it. My whole take on that was more about mindset. It wasn't a political thing. It could be anything that falls into your life that causes struggle and pain and discomfort. And I mean, there's always two roads. You're either going to feel like a victim in hopelessness. Of course, you could do actions, to contribute and try to change the world. Absolutely. Or you could radically accept what is here and then, again, change your mindset, do what you can to contribute. If you're passionate about this topic, go join groups and go be active about it instead of catastrophizing. It's the word catastrophizing that I was, didn't think was healthy.
I used that word. That was me. I'm just trying to take ownership for this. Like, the feedback was really mostly about me. And I think what this person wanted was more validation for how scary things are and will get under a Trump administration for people of color, queer folks, women.
Yeah.
Like it is true that the last administration was not good. And a conservative Supreme court is not good for human rights, generally speaking.
I also agree with this person saying that you guys are privileged. You're not in the shoes of, you're not women, you're not queer, you're not. I get that as well. That makes sense. And so to not minimize it because we don't know, and so that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's true. Yeah, I have dual citizenship. I can go to Canada if I want. Although Canada is trying to elect a more conservative government as well, and that's sort of happening in a lot of places in the world, right? Like the pendulum swings, and it doesn't just swing conservative; it eventually swings back liberal. That's sort of what happens. I don't think we're trending on the whole towards a more conservative world. I think that right now we're in sort of a conservative pendulum swing, and that it will swing back the other way.
I think with politics, my response to politics, war, religion, I tend to sway playing safe because maybe because of fear or because I don't know as much or whatever reason. And then that could come off as minimizing for sure. So I can see that as well.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do better.
Yes, we need to educate ourselves more. Maybe I should use I statements.
No, we's fair.
Yeah.
It's called We Can Do Better, not John Can Do Better.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for making me feel less alone.
Okay. I have, hey, we're low on questions, everybody. So
number is
657-549-1001.
We need to get some bumper stickers. Hey, you're in Los Angeles now. Let's get some stickers that have that number and just fucking plaster all over Los Angeles.
So we're putting bumper stickers on people's cars.
No. I mean, they're not on bumpers, on walls, it's still bathrooms, bars.
A billboard, dude.
Billboard, yeah. There's
billboard.
They do it all over LA. There's stickers.
I'm going to become a graffiti artist.
T-shirts.
And I'll put that number everywhere. 657-549-1001. And like John said, doesn't always have to be a question. Could be a comment, could be something funny, could be a joke, could be something. Leave it about a minute. I had someone leave a voicemail about letting me stay at their house in the valley.
Dude, you're going to end up
chopped up into little pieces.
Maybe, yeah.
And then it's going to be called John Can Do Better.
No, it's going to be called John Got Away. not John.
I can do better. No, but it was sweet. It was actually a therapist who was saying like, hey, I know how hard it is to land in LA. You're welcome. Yeah. There's a spare bedroom. I have a dog. I have and she even has a therapy room where you can like smack things with cubes and bats. I know it's like kind of perfect, but it's in the valley. So.
Yeah, but listen, man, the valley isn't all just like, I think the valley gets a bad rap. There are parts of the valley that are great and clean and amazing. It's not, I don't think it's the porn capital of the world anymore. Like it used to be in the 90s.
I don't know anything about the valley.
It's just hot and nondescript and a lot of cookie cutter homes. There's just not a lot of poetry in the valley. So it gets a bad rap.
But there's good food, I heard.
It's close to things. Yeah, there's good food. And also things have changed. And there's parts of, like, for example, North Hollywood, which used to be shady. Now there's an arts district. That's the other thing they do in cities. If they want to make something kind of cool, they just call it the arts district. And suddenly, it's, instead of it makes it more poetic when it may not be. When it just may be shady.
I've never been to an arts district, and I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
There's an arts district at downtown Los Angeles. There's an arts district. There's a bunch of them here, but they tend to be more poetic for creatives. Yeah.
Okay. Haven't been moved by an arts district that I've visited.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a super artsy guy, so maybe it's not for me. Okay, you ready?
Gosh, let's do it.
Hi, I just finished looking at John's repost of his wedding, and I'm wondering if you guys ever consider asking Vanessa to join the two of you. Oh my god!
I can't believe you picked this question. Get your face in the camera. Your face is okay. Get your face in the camera.
Oh wait, okay. You're gonna give me a talking to?
Always putting me on the spot without warning. You heard this. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a friend. You're like, hey, call the show. Here's what you ask.
I don't have time for that, dude.
But something in you gravitated toward this question. You knew it was going to make me uncomfortable, and how would he even answer this? And then two, maybe it's one of your fantasies.
It was a joke, John.
Oh, it was a joke.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't. I just think it's hilarious that someone would ask that question and leave it in the voicemail. Also, I'm telling you, we're running out of questions.
Oh my God! We're scraping the bottom.
It's bad. Anyways,
no, but listen. It's a real question. I want to respect it. I don't want to minimize something because it makes me feel uncomfortable.
We've also already answered this, I think.
We have, in that Vanessa and I are always open to talking about anything. We do talk about what turns us on, what doesn't. We've already established I'm more kinky. She's not. I know definitely she would prefer to have, if we were to ever do a threesome, she would prefer to have either a more masculine woman or a man in the bedroom, and then I would prefer a woman.
More masculine than you?
A more masculine woman or a man.
Okay. Or a man. Okay.
Can you imagine if I said she would prefer to have a more masculine man, a more masculine man?
I was like, dude, John's pretty masculine. You know?
I don't know, it's subjective, but I think she's attracted to the masculine energy. She has found some females attractive with masculine energy, but and I think she's done some stuff, but not the curious stages in your 20s and stuff. But I think she would prefer a man in the bedroom if we were to do something like that, not a woman. And then, and then for me, it's like I could see myself maybe getting turned on by like watching, but I don't know how I would participate because I'm not attracted to men. I don't I can't see myself making out with a man, or as you said, it just feels like elbows.
I gotta give it to you for answering this seriously.
I have to, man. That's what this is about. I don't want to. Unless the call was fake.
I'll answer it seriously. I would not sleep with you and Vanessa, not because I don't think it would be fun, but
it would be weird.
It would be weird.
Yeah, it's because you're too inside the circle now.
Yeah, no, and I love you guys as friends, and I don't want to jeopardize that in any way. And I don't actually want to get naked with you either. I think
why do you have to hurt? Do you have to be hurtful?
It's not hurtful,
you have to
dude.
Bluntly reject me.
It's not. No, I'm not rejecting you. It's the shame that I will feel, the discomfort I will feel.
What shame?
Not anything. I don't know.
What shame would you feel? Sure. So you know what I think would happen is if we're both being intimate with one woman, right? And you and I somehow made eye contact while we're having sex, we would start laughing. Like it would turn. I don't think we'd be able to keep a straight face.
Oh, I think I'd be able. I don't know if I would.
If
laugh.
we looked at each other, I don't know, man.
It might be tender. It might be tender.
Like if you were behind her and then I was on the other side, and we're just and then we looked at each other. I think we'd just start laughing, and it would ruin everything. And then she'd be like, "This is weird."
But also, laughing doesn't have to ruin everything. Sex can be funny, and doesn't always have to be sultry and sex.
So there was a time before we were close friends when I didn't know you that well. That once because you weren't in the inner circle, that it would have been kind of fantasy and okay, as long as I trusted you and it's something that Vanessa wanted, it turned her on and all that. But now that we see each other every Monday, and now that we're friends, it's a little too close. And also, it could jeopardize these kind of things, and this happens all the time. People who have threesomes with friends ends up ruining the friendship.
Yeah.
Right? Like other stuff, jealousy and weirdness, and suddenly I think people underestimate what doing something like that can do to. I think people underestimate what it takes as far as emotional capacity to actually be friends with someone, be intimate, like have a threesome, and then people just are still close and they love each other.
Yeah, and the impact it can have on a relationship.
The impact, yeah.
Yeah. And also I think there are people who are totally able to have these experiences and it's not a big deal, and it's
but those people I think live this way. I think they put a lot of reps in. They know how to do it, and they've talked about it. A lot of first timers I think it's a lot easier than it is. Also friends with benefits, right? It doesn't have to be threesomes. I think a lot of friends with benefits get complicated because people assume, oh, it's not that big. We're friends. It's good. And then someone has feelings, and it's complicated.
Well, the friends with benefits thing is interesting because I don't think that actually usually happens with a friend. I think it's what someone calls a relationship with someone that they're just having sex with. Oh,
Yeah.
we're friends with benefits. It's
Yeah.
not like you're not going to your best friend and being like, "Hey, do you want to start having sex?" Like most friendships will not be able to, aren't going to want to do that anyways.
If you were bisexual, I know you've had experiences with both genders, but if you were bisexual and you were intimate with Vanessa and I, who would you be more attracted to?
It's what a silly hypothesis. Hypothetical.
I just need a compliment before we move on. Something.
Oh,
or maybe not. Maybe not a compliment. Maybe you'd be like, oh, probably Vanessa.
I mean, I am more attracted. I am attracted to women.
Yeah, it's not a fair question.
Yeah, it's not a fair question, but I really appreciate. I appreciate you. I think you're hot. First of all.
Oh, thank you, Shaun. Keep going.
I'm a little envious of your muscles and your how heavy you lift. You got a nice body.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Not a lot of people, not a lot of Vanessa's an example. I think she appreciates my body, but she have in the past been more attracted to um, skinny musicians, tall skinny musicians. So it's not for everyone, but
it's so funny. Tall skinny musicians. Like, where are all the buff musicians?
It takes a lot of time to get in the gym, and so you got to spend time pounding drums and getting better as a musician. Yes, that's why.
That's so funny. I was talking to someone who's a musician, and they were like, "Oh, I wish I was more like built." And they were talking about. They were like, "Oh, I wish I was more built like you." And I go, "Well, you could go to the gym, and then he's like, "No, I'm a musician. Like,
right.
All my time gets dedicated to music."
Yeah, that makes sense. And those two types seem to be kind of so there's athlete and musician. It's like those are two buckets that women tend to be heterosexual women tend to be attracted to, either kind of like the musician or the athlete. And the musician also can creative artist that or athlete, that whole the abs and muscles thing.
Yeah. What if you were like an athlete, but you also on the side you played like the flute?
Probably not the flute, but
this one,
the drums. Yeah, that or the recorder.
The side flute.
Kazoo.
Yeah.
Harmonica would be okay. Harmonica, you could get sexy with a harmonica.
Definitely.
Yeah. But a drummer, bass guitar, that kind of stuff, that would be hot.
Okay, I do have a real question.
Yes.
Sorry, just to give the people what they want,
That was a real question. I answered it.
Hi, Shaun and John. My name's Emma. I'm 46. I'm divorced and a mom, so I'm not exactly single because I have a 15-year-old child. It's just weird, man. As a woman, you go through your life receiving all this attention from men, unwanted and wanted. And I'd say in the last 1-2 years, it's definitely shifted. I'm just struggling with dating at this time in my life because it's not like I want anyone to take care of me, not something serious, but also not nothing. Like, I don't want one night stands anymore. So, any advice or tips for aging and dating?
This is so real and relatable, especially with a lot of my female friends who are in their 40s now, struggling with just hormonal changes. If you've had a child, I mean, God, so many things. And then trying to feel comfortable and sexy. And then if you're single, this is a real thing.
And getting older and not being as desirable to men your age.
I mean, in our world, it's totally, I was going to say it's unfair, but I don't know, because men, when we're in 18, 19, 20, in the early years, we're bumbling idiots, and women get all the attention.
Yeah.
And then men kind of in our society are less judged on age. We many would argue we even get more attractive with age, wisdom, etc. Because society puts so much weight on aesthetics. Women then get put through the ringer, which sucks,
Yeah. Yeah, this is a real question. I am not even sure how to answer it. And
Well, I'm not a woman. I don't know. I can imagine what that would feel. The only thing I can imagine is I remember the lack of attention, the insecurity, and everything I felt in my 20s and even half of my 30s. So insecurity, I mean, it was hard as a man in my 20s and early 30s to um, walk into a room and try to, you know, get someone to be attracted to me or whatever, you know.
I can relate to that. I think
Yeah.
most of the women, when I was younger, most of the women were dating older men.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
now those women, I had this conversation with a friend. She was like actually really upset that I was more interested in younger women. And she's like, that means there's no men my age that want to date me. And I was like, okay, well, when you were 20, how old were you dating? Well, how old were the guys that you were dating? She was like, oh, 30, 35. And I was like, exactly. Like
Right.
that benefited you for a while and now it doesn't anymore. Right?
Well, I think what's happening now is women in their 40s are actually now dating younger men.
They are, absolutely. 100%. I'm hearing
Because,
about this all the time.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, I think it's great. And I think they're finding younger men, especially Gen Z, finding things in younger men that they're not getting from. And these are broad strokes, of course, generalizations. But from, say, my generation,
Yeah.
where we're still kind of old school, and there's a sensitivity, there's a more feminine energy. There's other stuff happening with Gen Z that can be very attractive and sexy.
Yeah. So for this person, because they said they're not really looking for anything serious, but they're not looking for one night stands. So
Yeah.
you can absolutely look younger.
I think so. And I think it's okay to look younger and to give yourself those experiences and to have a younger man worship you and sexualize you and make you feel amazing and beautiful. And
Yeah.
and doesn't mean that you have to build a relationship with that person, you know.
Sure.
Men have been doing it all the time. Men still do it.
Yeah. How do we deal with the increased taboo? I feel like the older man, younger woman thing that's like tried and true. That's sort of accepted for the most part. It depends how young you go, but
Yeah.
I feel like there isn't as much evidence or as much, like it's not as prevalent for the May December romances. The older woman, younger man.
You know what's funny? I almost said I'm actually really attracted to women in her 40s who are really in their bodies and have sexual energy and freedom and curiosity. And in my mind, I was thinking, yeah, that's I'm attracted to women my age, but then I forgot I'm 51.
Yeah.
So a woman in her early 40s is actually a younger woman.
Is 10 years younger than you.
Okay, that's enough.
But you feel. I mean, that's good. John feels like he's in his early 40s.
Dude, I feel like I definitely don't. I don't feel like a 51-year-old, but anyway.
So how do women feel comfortable dating older men?
I think she's just. I don't even know if it's a question. I think she's just stating the landscape, and that it's tough for someone who is in her 40s, single, hetero, and looking for a relationship, not a one night stand. It's like the pool is a little. It's not at the ocean. It's a little plastic swimming pool that your uncle bought you from Target. That's the dating pool.
Yeah, the dating pool is smaller. Sorry, we were just sort of giving one solution, which is date younger men. But what you're doing is validating this person's experience, which I really love. Also, yes, the pool is smaller. And I've also heard that like guys in their 50s are not the greatest partner, or even their 40s. Like they're kind of set in their ways. They don't feel like changing.
Yeah,
they have traditional values.
Yeah.
No, not all of them.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But they're not as they don't like take care of their body as much. They've let themselves go a little bit more. And like the women that I know and the women that you know that are single in their like 40s and 50s and late 30s are like taking care of themselves. They're firecrackers.
I think the biggest thing isn't that. I think the biggest thing is emotional safety, capacity, that stuff. With the younger generation, they speak more of that language, I think, than the people who are my age, where there's still a little machismo,
Definitely.
Tracing old blueprints is what a man looks like. our lines are harder and harder to erase.
Yeah.
Than the younger. Yeah.
I think if you haven't been dating for a long time and you're like getting back out there, it can be really hard. Like the landscape has changed dramatically, especially with online dating. I don't think online dating is necessary. I don't think you need to do it. I think we've been doing, reasonably fine without it. You just have to remember how to meet people, right? Which is like talk to people, go to clubs, go to communities, not nightclubs. I mean, like running clubs or walking clubs or hiking groups. Ask your friends to set you up, like be out in the world on a regular basis, interacting with people.
Would you say, as a man in his 40s, you are the most? Do you think, as far as dating and getting attention, you have the most now? Would you say than ever before, or no?
Most attention?
Yeah, like as far as you being single, dating, are you able to get more dates or no? Is it plateaued, or was it better for you?
Dude, it's so weird. It really depends. It depends on where I am. It depends on what I'm doing. Online, I don't get. Like on dating apps, like I get like a match like every 3 days.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think I would do well on dating apps either.
It doesn't match up with. Well, the weird thing is that I have this huge Instagram and I get people asking me out on a daily basis. Like people are sliding into the DMs every day.
Yeah,
but I don't. It's weird because I don't entertain any of that because they're not real people. I know they're real people, but for the most part, they like. If you live in Des Moines, Iowa,
it's not practical. You're saying, yeah,
it's not practical, and also like I don't use my Instagram as a dating app, right?
Right.
Because it'd be weird if I did. But so there's this thing happening where like I get a lot of attention this way, but then if I'm in the world, like in Flagstaff, I was looking around and there was like tumbleweed walking around. I was like, what the fuck is going on? How could I get so much attention online but zero in person?
I think you minimize the amount of attention you do get.
I think you're absolutely right, because I'll be like, I didn't go on any dates this summer. Then I'll be like, well, I went on a date with this person, this person, this person.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
person.
I think you forget to look at your calendar and see the amount of dates, because all my single journeys, I have to open my mouth to get anyone's attention. I don't walk into a room and turn heads. I have to actually try to be funny and charming and connect emotionally. It's always been. But then the people who do end up liking me end up really wanting to build something with me. That's kind of always been the case. But with you, I think, because every time I hear stories, I mean, you have no problem dating or engaging or getting into threesomes and all these other weird, wacky
I haven't
shit.
had a threesome in like a decade.
Well,
but I make it sound like
I haven't had a threesome in 51 years, Shaun. So,
hey, we're gonna fix that, brother. We're gonna fix that.
Well, we're not gonna be in one together, so let's just
establish
that on this.
Yeah. It has been established. I think you're right. I think.
Can I just say something real quick,
sure.
Dude? And this is a compliment to you. I don't think I would participate, but I would feel really safe with you, at least. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like any kind of threesome, what gets weird is after it's over. I mean, because people, they flirt, they might have a couple drinks where things happen, but after it's over, when the club lights come on, that's when things get weird. And I think with you, you're someone who would be able to sit down and talk to me about anything. So I feel safety in that.
That's really sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I think aftercare is very important, and it does require some vulnerable talks about like, hey, when this happened, it brought up this, and this is the story I'm telling myself. And so I would be open. Like, I want to be there for someone to share what was challenging for them.
And you're also respectful with women. You're not someone like you're not someone who I would get off of, say, a Craigslist, and you're coming to objectify my wife. And you know what I'm talking about? You're trusting. Like, I feel like for you, the experience would be meaningful. This is not an invitation, Shaun. I'm just saying.
It's starting to sound like one a little bit, actually.
Well, I'm just saying that you are someone that I do trust, and I would feel safe with. So
that's very sweet. I appreciate that. I mean, that means a lot. I think you're right, though. I think I probably am not the best judge of how I'm doing. I think I don't have a problem getting a date.
No, I think you're doing really well. You just you minimize it, downplay it.
And I'm super picky.
Well, we're all picky to a certain extent.
Not everybody.
I haven't seen the list of women or men that you've been intimate with. So I don't know who your ex-girlfriend looks like, or I don't even know what. I think I have a kind of an idea of your taste, but I actually don't know. So when you say you're picky, I draw a blank, man. I have no opinion.
I got weird tastes, bro.
I could see that.
They're very particular.
Yeah, I could see you also not having a type, but I don't know.
The type's all over the place.
Yeah. Vanessa's like that as well. She doesn't really have a type.
It's Vanessa and I were talking about this at the wedding. Actually, we're trying to figure out each other's types, and it's like all over the place. I like it. It's fun because it's like, it's about their vibe, it's about their look, it's about their smarts, it's about like the connection. So it's harder to quantify, and that makes it harder online because you don't really know how you're going to vibe with somebody,
right?
Because it's way more than about looks, and I think it's more than about looks for a lot of people.
I like that you're in my my little non-dating wellness app because I think you're very popular in there.
Single on purpose.
Even though I'm probably not that active, but that's an app where it's more safe and people aren't swiping on each other. So I'm glad you're in there.
Yeah. Single on purpose app.
Single on purpose. Single-on-purpose.life. Thank you for the plug, Shaun.
.life. Yeah, it's in the show notes, and it's on John's Instagram. And
hey, but we're gonna do live events, and Shaun, I want you to be a part of that and come. You'll have a line of prospects, I guarantee you.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. Number 2, we should book our retreat.
Yeah, we should do that as well.
Okay, let's plan the retreat. We'll have a date coming up.
Well, with Shaun moving to Los Angeles, we're going to do a lot of things, and one of our dreams is to actually do this live, rent out a small theater, and do this podcast live in person.
Well, that and to have a studio where we could be in the same room every Monday morning.
Yeah, I also want a vintage Porsche, so there's a lot of stuff that we want.
Oh, okay, I want a beautiful partner and like a cute house with like a little yard.
Okay, perfect. In Los Feliz.
In Los Feliz or Silver Lake area. Yeah.
Anything else?
That's good for now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to fly business class everywhere I go.
Yes, not first class, but business.
Yeah, no, I don't need first class.
Yeah.
Yeah, business class. Okay.
All right. I want to have a threesome.
Oh yeah. What else?
I want some more financial security. I want a couple vintage cars. I want to remodel my house. I want to have a threesome. I want to travel. I want to travel more. I need to travel more. That's something Vanessa loves doing.
I agree.
Portugal's on my list. I've never been to Greece. Greece is on my list. And then the big one that I need to do, especially as a family, is go to Korea. I've never been to Korea.
Oh, wait, yeah. But you were born there.
I was born there. I came here when I was 3.
Okay, so you have been to Korea.
Well, yeah, I was born there.
You haven't been back.
I haven't been back. When I was there, it was a village. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a booming city. And then if you go to Korea, you got to go to Japan.
North Korea?
South.
If
I go to North, I won't be back.
Oh, you got to go to Japan.
You've been to Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would fall in love with. I think I would love Japan more than Korea. I don't know, but I need to do the whole Far East thing. I've never.
Yeah. Also, the South. There's some insane tattoo artists coming out of South Korea.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Thank you for listening. Be well, and please leave a question. The number again is
657-549-1001. Leave us a review also on Spotify or Apple Podcast, and have a beautiful week.
Be well.
Be well.
You fucker.